This video is brought to you by Law Excellence IAS Academy.
Dear students, good morning. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 21st September 2019. The first article for discussion, a deep cut. It is about tax cuts to corporate India. You know that the tax were cut from 34.94%, close to 35% to 25%. Almost it is 10% cut. And any companies which are being established from now till 2023 will enjoy a tax of only 15%. It means that there is a cut close to 20% for them. So this clearly shows that the government wants to keep more money in the hands of the investors and promoters so that the private investment can go up. So let's keep more money in the hands of producers so that they can produce more. This is the first thing which the government is looking at. And the second thing is today there is trade war which is going on between China and United States of America. Many of the companies which are based in China are being shifting to other countries, either it is to Taiwan or Vietnam. In this case, if India has to attract those production units, obviously it has to provide for better tax incentives. So India is expected to become part of global value chains by aligning its tax rates with the global tax rates. So what is the challenge with this? Remember, as of now, the fiscal deficit is around 3.3% for the center, with loss of 1,45,000 crore rupees. Then the government of India is going to face a huge challenge of fiscal burden that is on the other side. The next, a rural stimulus. Remember, not just the supply side, we also has to revive the demand. And rural demand is always a factor for economic growth in India. So in this case, the distress on the rural areas has to be reduced. So the existing distress is clearly visible in the number of people who are opting for MG Narega. So the funds which are allocated for MG Narega, I think close to 60,000 crores, they are used up in less than half the year. So it shows the rural distress and the factors associated with. Now what the government did is it wants to revise the 178 rupees per day payment which was given to MG Narega workers, linking that to inflation. It means MG Narega payments are inflation indexed. So the inflation, that is CPI-AL, is the index which they are indexed to. In this case, the CPI-AL was not revised from the last 3 decades. In the meanwhile, there is a significant change in consumption in rural India. So the revision of CPI-AL is important, and indexing is a good step. It will push the rural demand, improve the rural demand, which is essential for consumption. An independent fiscal watchdog for Parliament. Many of the time we say that the budget has become an ineffective tool for controlling the executive by the legislature. What are the reasons? Most of the times the statistical or necessary information is not available to the legislators. Second is guillotining of most of the expenditure or demand for grants is the second thing. So in this case, in most of the advanced or developed nations, what they have is called parliamentary budgetary offices. In US it is called as Congressional Budget Office. The purpose is it's a professional organization and it is non-partisan, and it provides for the necessary useful analysis and data for the legislatures to counter the executive on various budget issues. Now, how is it different from CAG? So the Parliamentary Budget Office, it is going to function before the budget is presented. It means that its work is not post-mortem. The CAG's work is often criticized as post-mortem after the expenditure is made. But PBO's work is forward-looking rather than post-mortem. We need to remember that point. So in improving the legislative control over the executive, the office or reform which is proposed is Parliamentary Budget Office. You can add this in a point in your parliament topic. One people, many countries. It is about hypocrisy of Indian Americans living in the United States of America. So see here, Indian Americans, they migrated late to United States, And in this case, they face several forms of discrimination, that is the complaint. And second, there is leadership likeness in both US and United States. Let's not worry about this all debates. Let's worry about whenever a person is treated as a minority, and when he becomes onto the side of the majority on the other land, the way he behaves gets changed. In this case, a person is treated as majority or minority based on his association with the land. If you are a late migrant, you become the minority on the same land. If you are an early migrant, you become the majority on the same land. So, this is what is the case with US migrant history. In this case, in India, what we have is it's also a country of immigrants. So the Dravidians were the first people who stayed on the land of India, and then came the Aryans. These Aryans are said to have come from Central Asia. Now, in this case, later many other people came and settled in India. So, today, the pluralism and multiple identity is the backbone of India, which is getting affected because of homogenization. The similar is the case which Mr. Trump is talking in United States of America. Any people who are having minority identities, he accuses them of threatening the national interest there. This is what is the issue which has come when four of the Congress women are being pushed, are being snubbed by Mr. Trump, or he has bullied them to the corner. In this case, in India also the hyper-national rhetoric is like this. Anyone who criticizes the government, go to Pakistan, this kind of. So this article majorly talks about the need to protect multiple identities of the people, respect human dignity, and to ensure something called equality across all the social groups that are living in a particular community. Now, let's not get beyond this into this article. Now, the next article, single judge bench to hear bail pleas. Till date, two judge bench has to hear bail pleas coming before the Supreme Court. Now, as per the changed rules, a single judge will hear them. So here the most important point I liked is master of roster. The CJI is called master of the roster. He decides on allocating cases to various benches and moving the judges across the benches. This has become highly controversial when Mr. Deepak Mishra was the Chief Justice of India. So that point you need to remember here. And then, in a big boost, government cuts corporate taxes. As I already discussed, the tax rate will be 22% if you are not claiming any other benefits from the government. With surcharges together, it is coming down to 25.17%. If you establish a manufacturing unit from today till 2023, the tax one needs to pay is 15%. And tax rate for new companies will be effectively be 17.1% including cess and surcharge. It means 15% plus 2.01% will be the surcharge. So these are the few things which the government has brought in. So these tax rates, will it boost the economy? Let us wait and see. Now, P. Chidambaram did the same thing when the economy was slowing down way back, I think, in Gujarat's government, if I remember it exactly. Now, the government is trying to play the same thing from the Chidambaram book. So, it can increase the tax incomes and boost the economic activity. In the medium term, it will increase the tax incomes, but in the short term, it is expected to reduce the tax incomes. Draft rules to regulate social media ready. So let us wait and see these draft rules. These draft rules are not meant to integrate social media accounts of the people with their Aadhaar. These draft rules are meant to change or are meant to help investigative agencies with regard to various information to be accessed from social media accounts. Chandrayaan 2 is a huge success, ISRO Chief Mr. Sivan. So what he says is the rover is a technology demonstrator, Vikram rover. On the other side, there is a huge science in the Chandrayaan 2, and this huge science project is successful. So the technology demonstrator project failed to an extent. That's how he tries to substantiate the things. These are the articles for today. I hope you are doing your mains exam well, and we are coming up with discussion of questions on mains examinations. Already we have released those particular approach papers towards the mains 2019, approach sheets towards the mains 2019. You can collect them from office, or you can call to 9052 692929, or you can talk to 991234 Either of these numbers you can contact to get those approach papers to evaluate how do you stand. I like these year's papers because they are making you think. Compared to last year, these year's papers are much improvement. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day.